Okay, so yesterday, well actually Monday and Tuesday, we have started talking about how do we find the meaning of unfamiliar words. And so with Miss Guerra on Monday, you have made an excellent anchor chart that we're going to be using today. You told me that we use context clues to find meaning of unfamiliar words. We can look at the prefix and the root word. We can use our background knowledge. We can use text features and pictures. We can ask ourselves, does it look right or does it sound right? Or maybe does it possibly sound like another word, maybe a synonym? Can we substitute another word that makes sense? And then last, we might be able to, if all the rest of our strategies are not working, maybe we can go to a dictionary or possibly a computer and look up the word and find the meaning. Okay, I want you to be using these other strategies because this one just is not as natural and it's not using the text to really help us find that unfamiliar word. Then, yesterday, with Miss Guerra, you created our vocabulary rubric. And I learned from the morning class that we have already done a level 1. Thumbs up if you have done a level 1 on the rubric. Okay, what does that look like? What did you do when you were doing a level 1? Nicole?
Like that train post-it notes?
Yes, that's exactly right. You had post-it notes out and you were identifying words that were unfamiliar to you in your text. Level 2, you're still going to identify those unfamiliar words, but you're going to add a step to that. What step are you going to add to that on a level 2? Evan?
You're going to predict what that word means?
Excellent. You're going to predict, or we could use the word infer, what we think that word might mean. Today, I'm going to talk about a level 3. Who can read the level 3 for me on our rubric? Ashley?
I can identify an unfamiliar word in the text and predict or infer the meaning of the word. I can use my strategies to understand the new vocabulary word.
Turn to your shoulder partner. Listen what you're going to do. Turn to your shoulder partner, and what part are we going to add on today? Tell your shoulder partner what we're going to add on today.
Okay. We're going to identify the word, and we're going to use our strategies to try to figure out what the word means.
Sigmund? What are we going to do today? What are we going to add on? Parker? We use our strategies. Where are we going to get these strategies from? Grant? Our anchor chart right here. This is going to become a very important anchor chart for our work today. So quietly pivot towards the screen for me. And I'm going to model for you what that's going to look like. Okay, I know that Miss Guerra has been reading a very interesting passage about the Titanic. Has that been interesting to you?
Yes.
Mhm.
I feel sorry for the passage.
And I can see that as you were going through and you were reading, you made sticky notes of unfamiliar words that we did not know the meaning. Could this possibly begin to break down our comprehension if we don't know the meaning of these words?
Yes.
Yeah, we listed that on our comprehension anchor chart. If we don't know vocabulary, it's going to begin to break down our comprehension. So what I've done today is I've chosen one of our sticky notes, and I'm going to show you this great graphic organizer that's going to become one of your best friends. I'm going to first, on here, I want you to think about the columns as the levels of the rubric. This column would be a level 1. This column where we predict or infer would be a level
2.
Here, where we're going to use our strategies, would be a level
3.
And then last, which was what we're going to model tomorrow, is where we're going to take and apply our learning of our new word and put it into a sentence. That's going to be a level 4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Level 1 was just to identify an unfamiliar word. And our unfamiliar word that we ran across in our text was submerged. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line. That's a level 1. A level 2 is going to be, I'm going to identify the word, and I'm going to predict or infer the meaning. I think the word submerged means under. Then I'm going to go to a level 3. Thumbs up if we did this part yesterday. Okay, we identified our words and we predicted or inferred what we thought that word might mean. A level 3. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to identify the word. We're going to predict its meaning. And now we're going to use our strategies. Okay, so I want you to watch me, and every time you see me using one of the strategies on our anchor chart, I want you to hold a finger up. So if I use one strategy, you're going to hold up how many fingers?
1.
If I use 2, you're going to hold up.
2.
And then if I use 3, you're going to hold up. And so forth. Be ready to talk to your elbow partner about what strategy you saw me using. All right. Iceberg, right ahead. By the time these words rang out on the RMS Titanic, it was too late. The warning came at 11:40 p.m. on the clear, cold night of April 14, 1912. In the icy seas of the North Atlantic, within 40 seconds, the ship's starboard right side was raked below the waterline by the submerged spur of an iceberg. Less than 3 hours later, the Titanic sank beneath the water. At least 1,523 of its roughly 2,228 passengers and crew were dead or dying. Okay, so I've identified my word as submerged. I've given my prediction of what I think it is. Now I'm going to begin to use my strategies. Within 40 seconds, the ship's starboard right side was raked below the waterline by the submerged spur of an iceberg. Well, I can see, here's the Titanic, the picture. You can see that it's beginning to sink into the water. Do you notice how it's tilted? Going down, that's not how a water sits on the ocean, is it? How does a large ship sit in the water? Yeah, like this. Notice in that picture, is that the way this ship is sitting? No, it's beginning to tilt. Good word. It's beginning to tilt. Okay. I also know that the word submerged has a prefix. Sub. And I know that the prefix sub means below. So I've used my context clues. I've looked at my pictures. I've used the prefix sub. I also know about a few other words that start with sub. I know that a submarine goes below the water. I know the word sub-zero means the temperature is below 0. I think I have a pretty good idea of what submerged means. I think the iceberg? Because it says the iceberg was submerged. Who couldn't see it? The captain. The passengers. When we think about icebergs, where do we think about normally seeing them? Hannah?
In the Arctic.
Okay, in the Arctic. Are they above the water or below the water?
Above. Kind of like in the middle.
Okay. Look right here in this picture. Do you see any icebergs in this ocean?
No.
But yet it says in the text that that's what the large ship hit. I think the word submerged means that the iceberg was below the water. Before I write down my strategies that I used to figure out this unknown word, turn to your shoulder partner. I love the way that Parker had his fingers up showing how many strategies I was using. And you're going to just do rally. Go back and forth. One person share a strategy, the next person share a different strategy.
She used contacts at she read, like, she looked at the prefix and the root word. She used background knowledge.
Signal. Show me with your fingers how many strategies you think I used. Okay, I see 3 and 4. Good. Michael, give me one strategy. What would you say what strategy would that be on our chart? I looked at what? Okay, that's you changed clues on me, didn't you? Okay, that is a strategy. I will absolutely use that. I used prefix. Good. What else did I do? Thomas?
You used your background knowledge on sub.
Excellent. My BK, my background knowledge. Ashlyn?
You took it and you put it in with the picture. So use the text features and pictures.
Beautiful. One more. Avery?
You used your context.
Oh my gosh. All of you kiss your brains. Was I successful in figuring out the meaning of the word?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful job. Today, when you go back to your desk, you're going to get out your sticky notes. You've already identified your unfamiliar words. You have already done a level 2 where you've predicted or inferred the meaning. Today, we're going to take it to step 3. What things are you going to need to use in order to do this part of the rubric? Nicole? You're going to need the strategy anchor chart. What else are you going to need? Avery?
You're going to need your vocabulary.
Okay, you can definitely pull out the vocabulary rubric. Ashley? Your reader's response journal or your, what are we missing? Your book. We're missing our book, our very important text. We have to have our text that we were using where we identified those unfamiliar words. Today, we're going to take our information or our learning and we're going to transfer it from those really important sticky notes onto a graphic organizer that we're going to be using for the rest of the year. So this is going to become a very familiar graphic organizer that we're going to use to help us identify unfamiliar words. Sarthak?
Are we going to take it to a level 4?
We are, and that's a great question. We're going to do that tomorrow. Okay. Ashlyn?
Yesterday, I had my sticky notes, but then I didn't have my book.
Okay.
I turned it into the library.
Yeah.
So I had to redo it, so I didn't have time to do my level 2.
Okay. and we ran into that same problem this morning, how can we problem solve? What could we do? Joanna?
You could try to think of what word there, what part you read.
Do you think that might be difficult to do it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not going to have the text in front of us. So I think that would be really difficult to do, especially when we're trying to identify unfamiliar words. What's another way that we could solve that problem, Sherry?
You could get a new book.
Beautiful. We might just have to start again. That's what we had to do this morning.
I started again, but then I didn't have time to do my level 2.
Okay, so where would you pick up today?
Level 2.
You would pick up on a level 2. Any other questions on what you're going to be doing during your independent time? Isabel?
Do you have to like write the level 1 and stuff?
You do not. Here, it's up to you. If that will help you to know where you are on your rubric, you can do it this way the first time.
I'll just do it.
I did it this way so that you could clearly see the rubrics. Maybe you will think of it as, if I've done this column, it's a level 1. If I've done this column added, and these 2 columns are filled out, that's a level 2. If I've added this column and I'm here, that's a level 3. Okay? Are we going on to a level 4 today?
No.
No, I just really want us practicing a level 3 today. Sherry?
Do you do one word or?
You will go through and do one word. If you have another unfamiliar word, do the same strategies.
Okay.
Nicole?
Like, what if you had the book that was from the library and you put it back in the library?
Okay, so how did we just say we were going to solve that? Yeah.
Alright, we've found Sean. He's coming in.
All right. Table 1. May go. Thomas? Yes, we would go on to our quiet